Hey guys, welcome back to HyperTora. I've got my Japancrate box here for April. It's arrived just as we expected, a couple of weeks after it got shipped. I hope you're all well and you're all coping with coronavirus. I know we're in sort of partial lockdown here in the UK. I did get an email from Japancrate this morning with an update for their coronavirus shipping information. They are still shipping, although for Japancrate they are adding a $5 surcharge now for shipping for the boxes until after the coronavirus issue, because Japan Post, which ships all the boxes in Japan, has discontinued some of their services because of less planes leaving the country. So they've had to pay for a more expensive shipping, which apparently means that you'll get your box a bit quicker if you get this one than you normally would. But they did say that surcharge will only happen while Japan Post has this reduced service. As soon as the service is back, they'll switch back and reduce the surcharge again. I haven't heard from Tokyo Treat yet to hear what they're doing, because I imagine they use the same cheapest shipping method. So it'd be interesting to hear what Tokyo Treat decide to do, because my Tokyo Treat box hasn't yet shipped for the next one. So hopefully I'll find that one out pretty soon. But let's open up our Japancrate. This month's theme is obviously Sakura season, because we're coming into the cherry blossom time for Japan, which is a really nice time to go and view the cherry blossoms if you're in Japan, although probably not so much this year. But let's open this up and see what we got inside. Now there is some reasonable weight to this. It's quite nice. And I do like how Japancrate sort of changes the print on their boxes for each month. Probably causes them issues in the sense that they don't want to produce too many boxes, because obviously it's only valid for a month compared to Tokyo Treats, which you can keep on using them. But it's quite nice because it tells you what the theme is for each month. There. So that looks pretty funky in there. It's looking nice and pink, which is what you want to see for a Sakura season. And obviously it doesn't quite say the theme on the front of the booklet. It just says April 2020, which is pretty funky. But there, that's a really nice box. I'm seeing some really nice gummies and stuff in there, and it's a nice pink Sakura flavoured items, which is what you want to see with a Sakura themed box. Okay, so we got our booklet here. This one unfolds out compared to Tokyo Treat, and they do a Sakura crate, which on the back there, which is similar, I think, to what Tokyo Treat do. They give one subscriber every month some sort of bigger crate. So let's see what we have in here. So we've got obviously 3 levels, mini, original and premium, a bit like Tokyo Treat used to be before they went down to 2 sizes. And I'll try and remember as usual to tell you which one's from which part of the box. So our very first item in here is mini chocolate Sakura. It looks like some biscuits with some Sakura flavoured chocolate on the top. So this is from the premium box. It's pretty funky. And I quite like Sakura flavoured things, so this is in quite a nice box for me. We got some mochi here, with the looks. It looks like it's strawberry flavoured rather than Sakura flavoured, so this is from the mini box, because they're little mini items. Strawberry flavoured cream, so I imagine that might be like strawberry flavouring in the centre with some marshmallow. I think we've had some, I can't remember if we had some mochi in some of the previous Japancrate boxes since I've started getting it. They're quite nice. I don't know if we've had this one before, but I absolutely love mochi. These ones are a little, I suppose they're pre-packaged for long term, so they're a little bit different to what you'll find in Japan when they're fresh, but they're still quite nice. Next up, we've got some Sakura Matcha Pocky. This is from the premium box, which is quite nice. Can't remember if we had some Sakura Matcha Pocky possibly from Tokyo Treat. But that's pretty nice. I think I have a feeling the matcha is going to possibly overpower the Sakura in this. And it's quite unusual. I'm used to getting bigger boxes of these, so it's unusual for me because a lot of the stuff in Japan crates, you tend to get lots of small things rather than some of the larger things you get in Tokyo Treat. So it's quite unusual for me to just see an individual little packet of Pocky like that there. Next up, we've got some, I'm assuming some little choco balls. So these are from the mini box as well. Petite Divination chocolate. So yeah, I don't think we've had one of these in Japancrate since they've been subscribed, but we've definitely had these in Tokyo Treat before. They're pretty funky, and what you're supposed to do is make a wish and then pop out a candy. And on the back you've got, on the foil, there is a little circle or a cross, which you can just sort of see if you look carefully enough, and you bend it so the candies sort of float in their packaging. The idea is that a circle is good luck and a cross is a fail for your wish. Next up we have one of our larger items. We got some potato chips which look like they might be Sakura flavoured. So this is from the mini box as well. This is sweet salty Harry potato. Perfect chips to celebrate a Sakura spring. Fried Hokkaido potatoes and have a gentle taste. So possibly not Sakura flavoured, but branded to be a kind of spring potato chip. So that's quite interesting. It's something you don't tend to see too much in the UK. Is things like potato chips that are branded for seasons. It's quite unusual. Halloween would be the most biggest time I'd ever see kind of stuff that's branded for a season, at least in that kind of stuff. Next up we have crispy chocolate. This is from the original size box, so if you get premium you get everything in the previous small boxes. So that looks like a little kind of cereal coated, chocolate coated cereal. I think we had, similar to Rice Krispies apparently, I think we had something a little bit like this last month. Actually, this is from the premium box. I'm looking at the wrong one, so it looks like we got something similar coming up in a minute. So that's chocolate hit flakes. So that's what I was looking at. So this is crispy chocolate. So this is supposed to be similar to Rice Krispies as well. So this is from the original box. It's pretty funky. That feels like it might be more of a bar with some Rice Krispies in compared to this being a kind of chocolate coated cereal. Next up we have, this looks like energy drink gum. If I can find it on here. So this is from the premium box and it's Sonu Manama Monster Gum. So Monster Energy, this will be an energy drink flavoured kind of gum. I think we had an energy drink flavoured gum or something similar last month or the month before. So there are some sort of similar items in this box, even though we've only been subscribed for a few months. Next up we have Coca-Cola flavoured lollipop with sherbet. So this is from the mini box. It's been a while since I've had something like one of these. Hopefully they're not too sour. Be interesting to try out later on. I used to have lots of those as a kid, which is pretty cool. Next up we have some sort of I think this is some sort of cola snack. Maybe it might be a bit like a fruit wind-up. So this is a cola flavour roll candy sour cola gummy. Don't quite think the translation is brilliant on that. This is from the original box. Looking at this and the packaging, this reminds me of fruit winders, which we have in the UK, which are kind of staple snack for a kid's lunchbox. They taste pretty cool, which is pretty nice. So I look forward to trying that out. This looks up. Next up, we've got some sort of gold packaging with some sort of chewy in it. So this is a chewy candy, this long taffy featuring flavours of golden pineapple and golden peach. So that'd be interesting to try out. Peach is quite nice in Japan, the peach flavouring. The pineapple might add a bit of an acidic taste to that, so that'll be something new to try. Next up, we got some gummies, and I think I'm going to love these because I love the gummies. So this is a fruit basket gummy from the mini box. So we've got, looks like we've got different flavours in there. We've got pineapple, lemon, orange, apple, grape stuff. So that's really funky. I absolutely love gummies, and they're usually quite nice and soft, these ones, compared to some of the hard gummies we get. Next up, we've got another little gummy. It's in the shape of a kind of baseball, because you can just sort of see the ridges on that one. So this is from the original box, and this is a grape ball. It's just grape flavoured jelly in a cup. So that will probably be more jelly-like than gummy. Next up, we have a DIY. This is from the original box as well. We've had this kind of stuff from Tokyo Treat quite a few times. This one doesn't need any added water or anything else. It's pretty quick and easy to do. You take the stuff out and you kind of make ice lollies with them. So we'll get those out towards the end. Next up we have some Sakura milk caramel corn from the original box. I think we had some of these in Tokyo Treat in the other month. These would be pretty nice, light flavoured. Next up we have cream colon, if I got that right. So this is from the premium box, and Sakura matcha cream colon. So this is something new for me. I haven't seen these before. So it's yummy Sakura flavoured cream made with proper Japanese Sakura, apparently, wrapped in an elegant bittersweet matcha waffle. So that'll be interesting to try out. You've got two items there which are mixed with matcha and Sakura in the same thing. Next up we got Coca-Cola strawberry. I think Tokyo Treat did this a month or so ago. So we do get repeats if you get the same box. Between the boxes it's definitely more likely, especially when you've got seasonal based boxes. So it's quite interesting. If I remember rightly, this was quite nice. So I'm looking forward to that. And something we definitely, I think, did have. I think we had one of these in the previous Tokyo Treat box, so it's really nice to. I actually quite enjoyed it, so it's nice to see these in the Japancrate box as well. So we got some Sakura sake Kit Kats. So these come in the premium box. They're the bonus item. I don't know why they call it a bonus item, because you tend to have a bonus item in every box, every premium box. So I don't know why it's just not a standard item. I don't really see it as a bonus when you always get one. So that's really nice to have. We'll open them up as well anyway. And I absolutely love that they've gone for this new recyclable packaging. All the Kit Kats inside are still in the kind of old style foil stuff, but they've made a start by trying to get rid of the outer packaging, which used to be those big packets of plasticky foil, which was unnecessary when all the Kit Kats inside were individually packaged. So now they've gone for a kind of paper or wax paper alternative, which means it's a lot more recyclable, which is really nice. So that's everything inside the box. That's empty now. We are going to be able to go through some of this. So I'm going to start with the Coca-Cola. I think I remember this being quite nice, but I can't quite remember the flavour profile. It smells nice and kind of hint of strawberry with the cola. That's really nice. So you've got your nice light hint of strawberry in there. It's not overly sweet. With your hint of cola as well. So I think they're quite nice and well balanced in that. Sometimes you get stuff that's so weak you just taste the cola. So that's really nice. Next up we've got our Sakura sake Kit Kats. So that's our Sakura sake Kit Kat there. If you've never had Kit Kat from Japan before, if you're new to these, you have a little thing on the back as well where you can write a message, because these are traditional to give for good luck before exams and stuff. Probably not the sake ones, but nevertheless. So you can always smell the sake when you open the sake version of the Kit Kat. You get that whiff of the alcohol, even though I think they do have some alcohol in it. They're not a high percentage. It's really nice. The Sakura is very subtle, so you get kind of a stronger hit of the sake in there, but you can definitely taste the Sakura in there as well. Next up we have our Sakura milk caramel corns. So this is one giant pack. So the one thing I struggle with when I get these is that it's such a large pack on my own. I struggle to eat it all before it goes off unless I sit there in one session and devour it all. So they smell quite buttery, which is probably from the milk. So say they're definitely probably a little bit more buttery creamy. I don't quite taste the Sakura in there. It's a very subtle flavour if it is. If anything, they're a bit more like just having milk caramel corns. But nonetheless, really nice. They are quite sweet. So you probably want something to reseal that if you don't want to eat it all at once. Next up, we've got our Sakura matcha cream things. So these are really nice packaging actually, how these come in a little box like that. You rip it up and you've kind of got a little container almost. And usually these are positioned with a kind of rip, so you can open up in the foil there inside the box and leave them, so you can just get at them like that, which is quite nice. So we got a kind of Sakura cream here wrapped in a kind of roll of matcha. Doesn't quite smell like matcha or Sakura. It might just be a mixture. It doesn't quite smell very strong. So I kind of got a hit of the kind of creaminess, and then as you finish that, the aftertaste sort of comes on with the matcha. It's a reasonably bold matcha flavouring, but not overly strong and bitter. If you've ever had proper matcha tea, which is the not like you normally get like a green tea from the Starbucks or somewhere, like the actual ceremony green tea, it's very bitter. So that's quite nice. It takes the proper taste of green tea, the matcha, and gives it a kind of very sweet stuff to take away the bitterness with the cream. So that's really nice. Next up, we have our potato chips, which I think are just going to be plain or salted. Salty, sweet salty, it says so. There's no particular extra smell to these. They smell like potato chips. There's no kind of hint of any fruit or Sakura in there. So they're definitely salted potato chips. I might hazard a guess there might actually be some sweetness in there as well. Perhaps the sugar or something. They're not. It feels like there's something more there than just the saltiness. For them, they're really nice. You kind of get the saltiness towards the end, but they almost takes a few seconds to kick in. So it almost is like there's a bit of sweetness or sugar in that as well, which is quite interesting. Next up, we have our mini chocolate Sakura biscuits. So we've got one large packet in here, which probably means they're not individually packaged inside. And they come on a little chocolate tray. So there's quite a few in there. I'd probably say there's probably at least 10 in that packet, maybe 12. Back in there, so we've got, it's actually, I thought they were going to be chocolate on one side and biscuit on the other, but it looks like it's a little wafer of chocolate, Sakura chocolate wafered in a biscuit, which is quite interesting. We definitely haven't had anything like this before. And quite soft and creamy. At first I didn't quite taste any Sakura, but the aftertaste as you get through the biscuit and probably onto the chocolate, you get a nice hint of Sakura there actually, more than I was expecting. So that's really nice. It's really nice it gives you that kick at the end as well. Our next Sakura matcha item is these little Pocky sticks. So I imagine they're green because the matcha's going to overpower the Pocky. The actual stick is pink, which is probably the Sakura, so it might be matcha chocolate on a Sakura flavoured Pocky stick. You can definitely smell the matcha on these. That's really nice. You can probably see in there there's the inside's pink, which is obviously the Sakura's in the stick of this. And the chocolate layer is quite thin, so the matcha, you can taste it, but I think you can still taste the Sakura in the stick. So it's quite nice. It's a little bit more balanced. I think you'll probably get a tiny bit more matcha kick than you will from the Sakura in that. But nonetheless, that's actually really nice, and it's not as strong matcha as the other matcha cream things we had. Next up, we have our little mochi, our strawberry mochi. So these are quite nice palate cleansers as well. And I absolutely love mochi. Little rice balls. If you don't know what mochi are, or you haven't seen how they're made, they're really interesting to watch YouTube videos on how they make these and take rice and how they sort of batter it into this paste. So the inside of this one has a little kind of strawberry coated ball with marshmallow around it. So these are really nice. Absolutely love them. And I think my first proper taste of mochi was my first visit to Japan, when I went into a restaurant and they had mochi ice cream. So they actually have mochi which they put ice cream in the centre of. Really traditional mochi has red bean paste in the centre, but it's really nice with ice cream in as well, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have our pineapple and peach chew. So it looks quite tough, and it smells like very sweet. You've got a kind of smell of pineapple in there with a very hint of peach. That's really nice. So that was a lot chewier than I was expecting. You definitely taste the pineapple when you bite into that, which has got a strong flavour in it. And then as you eat that, the juiciness of the peach comes through. So I always find the peach flavour in Japan, when you have candies and stuff, it kind of has a hydrating feeling to it, which is nice and refreshing. And you get that from this as well. So I think you get the nice taste of pineapple, then you kind of switch over a bit to the peach in there. So that's really nicely balanced. Next up, we have, I think I'll try our little cola lollipop. So in here we got a lollipop which would be cola flavoured, then we got some sherbet. So it's not a very strong cola lollipop, I think, from what you might expect. But nonetheless, it's quite nice, and then you can dip in for your little sherbet, which is, I'd say, mildly sour. But nonetheless, that brings me back to my childhood, when you used to get those a lot as a kid. You get a lollipop with a sherbet, and you'd sit there dipping it in all day. So that's a really nice throwback. Next up, we have our little chocolate hit flakes. So these always remind me of little cornflakes, cereals that have been sort of mashed up and coated in chocolate. I remember making things like these as a kid. So that's a bit of a darker chocolate. It's not as milk chocolate as you'd possibly have done that yourself if you made it at home. But it's not overly dark, but it might put you off having it if you're not a good fan of dark chocolate, because I know I definitely don't eat too much dark chocolate. I prefer milk chocolate. So they're not too bad. And you still get the taste of the flakes in there as well. Next up, we have our crispy chocolate bar. So this is chocolatey rice cereal, what it says on it. So we've got a little chocolate bar with some little Rice Krispies in the centre. They almost look more like kind of sugar puffs than Rice Krispies. So they're quite nice. So the kind of Rice Krispie things in the centre are quite solid. I know Rice Krispies in the UK are very puffed, so they're quite airy when we have them. So these are a little bit more solid. So they're almost a bit like having little tiny biscuits in the chocolate bar, which is still quite nice anyway, but maybe not quite what you were originally expecting. Next up, we have our energy drink gum. So these, we got 3 in a pack, and these come in little balls. and definitely smell of energy drink. So they're really nice and refreshing. A little bit of a tang on that as I took it out of my mouth. I think the centre is a little bit softer, so there might be a little bit of a gooey centre in there. It's very moist and hydrating at the start, rather than like some of the chewing gums you might get in the UK or elsewhere, which are just chewy without too much moisture. So I think they've kind of got more of a gooey centre to them, which makes them quite nice to have. Next up, we have our little choco balls. So if you want to with these, you make a wish. I'll pick a random one. It's that one. I don't know what's on the foil. I'll do that one there in the centre. If you want to guess, go down to the pause the video, go down to the comments below and make a comment and guess whether you think it's going to be a circle or a cross. Otherwise, I'm going to open this up and see what we have. So I'll use my little knife here to fold it over nicely so we can see it. And we got a little circle there. It's pretty cool. So that's supposed to be a success. So if you guess the circle, well done. It's really nice. And then we got a little green chocolate in here as well, in the shape of a little ball. And they're really nice. They're a bit like Smarties, if you have Smarties in your country, but they're just round instead of kind of flattered. They're really nice. So I quite enjoy sitting and eating those. Next up, we've got our little cola winder. So this looks definitely like what I thought it was going to be. So we get fruit winders in the UK, which I had as a kid when I was at school. I used to just sit there and like this and eat them and then unwind it as you ate them. But I'll try and avoid doing that now. So that's really nice. That's exactly the same as the fruit winders used to have a kid, but in cola, which pretty means it's a lot more sugary than the ones I had as a kid. But nonetheless, it's really nice. It's going to be one of my favourite items. Next up, we have this little grape jelly ball, which is you probably can't quite see on the camera the little nodges as they go around, a bit like a baseball stitching. So it's definitely more jelly than it is gummy. I can tell that just from how I've opened it. And if I can get that out of there, it'd be really nice. That's really nice. I wish there was more of them. Really nice and juicy, and it's got that really nice grape flavouring that you come to expect from Japan. So that's a pretty funky candy. So I wish there was more of that, or if I could buy some more, that'd be pretty funky. They're really nice and refreshing. If I imagine to get them shipped to the UK, because their jelly is probably a little bit counterproductive in terms of cost efficiency. Yeah. So next up, we've got our gummies. So it looks like we've got different flavours in here. That looks like pineapple, grape, strawberry, orange. They look like lemons or limes, but the packaging has apples on them as well, so they might be apple as well. So they're really nice. I think any flavour in these might be quite subtle, because they're pretty similar in flavouring. Didn't quite give me too much of a hit of different flavours. They almost taste a bit like a standard gummy without too much flavouring in. I was expecting maybe a little bit more strong flavouring in the different colours and shapes there. So they're quite nice gummies, but not as flavoured as I thought they were going to be. And then our final item in the box is our DIY candy. So we've had this one before, and if you've watched my videos before, you probably know what this one is. So you should need the instructions for this one. So in this packet, we get some little kind of sherbet powder. We get some little chewy They're not quite gummies, they're kind of like chewy balls or squares. You get some little lollipop sticks, and then we get some syrup, which is pretty funky. And the idea of this is that we put the sherbet on one side and the syrup in the other. Now, if you do get this box and you get one of these DIYs, the syrup is extremely sticky. So you want to be careful where you put that, unless you're like me and you just spill it over the table. So, take one of our lollipop sticks here, and these are usually Ramune flavoured, and you shove a stick into one of these little squares, and the idea is that you coat it in the syrup and then you dip it in the sherbet, and you kind of have a icicle or square ice lolly kind of candy. And they're quite chewy as well. I think the pink ones might have a hint of strawberry flavouring to them on top of the Sakura. But it's quite interesting, you do get a bit of a tang from the syrup and the sherbet as well, which is always quite interesting. But that's everything inside this box. As far as I can tell, everything that was listed in here is actually in there, which is pretty cool. It's really nice to check and make sure you've got everything at the end. Do that with pretty much all the boxes I get, because I haven't had in Japan. I think I've had one Tokyo Treat before, which had one missing, which they put into the next box. But that was quite a few years ago with that one there. So that's really nice. Quite enjoyed the box. We had a few Sakura items in there, 3 or 4 items which are Sakura flavoured, which kind of matches the theme of the box. And then we got a bunch of other kind of fruity things for the spring flavouring, which is quite nice. Sometimes we find with some of the Japan boxes, between Japancrate or Tokyo Treat, sometimes they put a theme on it and there's only 1 or 2 items that match that theme, and the rest of the box is kind of random stuff. So it's quite nice to have that kind of mixture. And I think this box is a bit more on the sweet side, whereas Tokyo Treat sometimes, while it has sweets in it, can move towards the savoury side a lot more with Tokyo Treat, because you get a lot more savoury snacks in them. So this is quite a nice balance for me. But that's everything in here. If you like the video or you want to tell me about what you like, do go down in the comments below. Tell me what your favourite items were from this box. If you get this box and you tried it out, let me know what you think of them. If there's anything you particularly didn't like, you wouldn't try again. It's always interesting to see what people think of some of the matcha stuff sometimes, because I think they're a bit stronger than your traditional green tea that you might get in a Starbucks, which isn't as strong, which is pretty funky. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Please do hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and please do hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to see more unboxing videos when they come out. But otherwise, I'll see you guys next time.